I want to talk about a condition that is very, very common in pediatrics. This condition is called hydrocephalus. So, hydrocephalus is the accumulation of cerebrospinal fluid in the brain cavities. That is just the definition. Yeah. So, CSF originates from choroid plexus, and it passes along the pathways that are just adjacent to the foramen magnum of the second and the third ventricles, uh, interpathways. So that is how it flows. So basically, what you have to know is the uses of a CSF fluids. Number one, they help uh, in absorbing the trauma. They also help in supplying the nutrients into the ventricles. CSF also help in removing the waste uh, product from the ventricles. So we are going to talk about a bit of the etiology. So basically, the imbalance production of CSF will bring difficult absorption of CSF into the bloodstream. Yeah, they will also bring to uh, increased CSF into the bloodstream. Brings what we call uh, communicating hydrocephalus, and that is a very big challenge. Yeah. So there is also insufficiency of supply of CSF into the bloodstream. That also bring hydrocephalus. Yeah. So another thing that you have to know is the decreased CSF production will also bring what we call non-communicating hydrocephalus. Now, what you have to know again is the types, the types of hydrocephalus. We have acquired and we have congenital. In the congenital, you'll talk of things like the X chromosomes that are mutating will bring a malformation that is basically explaining how it comes about. It's called the Dandy Walker. In acquired, you'll talk about how inflammation, neoplasms, and how it comes about. The inflammation part, we'll talk of things like meningitis, encephalitis, yeah. Things to do with neoplasms, you'd talk of things like space occupying lesions. So I'll request you to read more widely about them. Now, when we are talking about hydrocephalus, you must consider presentation. So in the presentation part, clinical presentation number one that you see, the bulging fontanelles, there is high-pitched cry in the neonates, there is the scalp is shiny and thin. Another thing that you have to know is that there is sunset eyes. The sunset eyes simply means uh, the the corneal is above the sunken eyes. Yeah. Another thing that you have to know, the intelligence is obviously is normal at that particular presentation. Next thing that you'll have to know is how to make your diagnosis of an hydrocephalus thing. Even before you make the diagnosis, the presentation first will help you know that this is a baby that is having hydrocephalus. Yeah. So you'll do CSF analysis, you'll do ultrasound, you'll do CT scan of the head, all those. You'll do full hemogram, yeah. You'll do MRI, possibly if you can manage. And another thing, in older siblings or in older children, there's a big difference on how they present. Some of them present with anorexia, irritability. Some of them present with susceptibility. Some have headaches, yeah, increased intracranial pressures, and so on and so on. So basically, that is what is entertaining the hydrocephalus staff. The management basically, you'd be dealing with decreasing the high intracranial pressures and removing and evacuating the fluid. And the fluid is the one that brings now the high intracranial pressures. So basically, you'll deal with, you'll use mannitol for your management. But the definitive management that we do nowadays is the shunting. Yeah, the shunt, you try to bypass and evacuate the fluid from the cavity system of the head. Yeah. So we have several types of shunts. We have lumbar parietal shunt. We have ventrovaricocele shunt. We have ventro arterial. We have ventro peritoneal. So the ventros will help you to evacuate the fluids. Now, you have to know about the complications of hydrocephalus. Number one, somebody will have incontinence, urine incontinence because of the brain damage also. Somebody will have memory loss. Somebody will develop too much and persistent headache. Somebody will have consciousness deterioration. Yeah, somebody will have visual problems like photophobia and the rest. Somebody will develop a lot of brain damage because the system, there is too much non-communicating and communicating hydrocephalus, and that will bring to the end our discussion today. Thank you for watching.